Hey, are you looking for a fun place where you can feel accepted? We are here today at Wild Axe Throwing here in Beavercreek. We're not going into battle. We're going to have a great time. Again, located here in Beavercreek, you can throw some axes. Again, located right next to Level Up Pinball. But this is a place where you can have a great time, have some great drinks, bring some great friends along, and have a wonderful, good old time. So let's go ahead and see what this is all about. I love these handles right here as you go in. They're actually axes here for the handle. So Wild Axe Throwing, let's make our way in here and let's see what's going to be going on in this way. So I'm going to be honest with you. I've only ever been to one of these types of experiences once before. I can't promise that I was that great at it, but you know, I feel like I did a lot of mental rehearsal since the last time I did this and thought, okay, if I have another chance at throwing axes again, I know how I'm going to do it. So let's go see if I had my positioning correct here. All right, bullseye. This is it. Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad, okay? But as you can see here at Wild Axe Throwing, there's several different lanes here, and they actually have leagues that they put on at least weekly. And so you can see right over here, this is the Axe Master right here, otherwise known as Jack Axe. This is Michael. He knows a thing or two about throwing an axe. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. My name's Jack Axe. I'm here to help you learn how to throw axes and to make you a better axe thrower. Make sure you have a good time, all right? You know, we do this 7 days a week. It's open till about 9 p.m. every night, except on the weekends. We close around 11 o'clock. Something to keep in mind, though, is these are brand new targets. These are never before thrown on by our average customer. These are what our axe leaguers throw on and what the professionals around the world throw on. So something interesting and new to take part in.
And what I think is so cool here is because for the lay person like me, the normal person walking in here who maybe has never done something like this before, this is a sport that's really taken off in recent years.
Absolutely. So we were featured a couple times on the ESPN 8 the Ocho. It's changed a little bit. They're now streaming on YouTube, but it is a sport that is growing in heat. It's become very popular. We actually just kind of broke another record. I want to say 36 people for these specific sets of boards is our all-time high, and that's a little bit more average than the average axe throwing house in America. Between America and Canada, to my knowledge, it's about 10 to 25 people for your average size, and we're about 10 plus people higher than that. So it's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. You know what you're doing, and I feel as though I don't know what I'm doing. My positioning was off. My form was a little wonky, but as we were walking this way, I saw right away you have a different way of positioning yourself and really squaring up to the board. You want to give us a demonstration, the best way to go about doing this here?
So, pardon me, I apologize. So what we're doing here, everybody's a little different. So we train you so that you know how to throw easily every time. What I do is a little bit differently. My technique's a little bit more advanced. So when we throw the way we do, or the way that I do rather, and when I say we, I mean people who are a little bit more advanced, we're doing a technique that when you throw, you're trying to reduce your movement so that there's less room for failure or mistakes. Whereas the average person, they kind of set up just like this.
Okay, so he's showing us the incorrect way to do it, right? So that's not the incorrect, but this is the way that most people would stand, is just like that. So they would stand just like that. I know that some people, at least when I first was doing it for the first time, I was using both hands, and I was kind of doing the, like, putting it by your, a demonstration kind of like that.
Sure. Well, so it's interesting you say that because our current champion is actually a two-handed thrower. So there's nothing wrong with two-handed throwing. It just seems that most people find it a little bit more accurate to be able to keep it next to their face and kind of hold it just like this. That being said, though, the average person doesn't throw that way, and typically when they try to mirror that, if they don't know what they're doing, it ends up in a really bad result. In any case, though, you can grow and become just as good as a champion. Like, for example, when I first did this, I didn't throw this great, and now I think that I'm one of the better people in the Axe League. So, you know, everybody's a little different.
Put your money where your mouth is. Let's see what you got. So this is Jack Axe right here. He's getting into position, leveling up the form, and aim and fire right there. Bullseye. Nailed it. They don't call him Jack Axe for nothing. He knows what he's doing. Hey, and I can tell you, again, you guys really take this seriously. As I'm looking around, I'm seeing literally like chalk. What's this all about?
So this is just in case your hands get a little clammy or they're sticking to the tape on the axes. This is based on you feeling that your grip is changing. Now, everybody thinks, oh, that's going to help my game a little better. If you don't need it, it can make things worse. It's kind of like don't change it unless it's broken. So that is something that some people use, but I actually noticed most of my axe leaguers don't touch the chalk. It's a very rare person who does. Those things being said, though, I don't think it's the difference between, you know, a champion and somebody who's not.
I mean, I beg to differ. There's only one way to find out if that that was accurate. Let me go ahead and find out. You mind if I give it a shot here?
So you want to be a little bit further back than you were before, as this is a longer axe handle. These are a little bit shorter. So what you're going to do here is you're going to make sure that if you stood at the mat before, you might come back to maybe green or even white. And with this one, you really want to make sure that your elbow does a full actuation, because if you shortchange and keep it a little bit too close to your body, you might smack the handle. Go for it. That wasn't bad at all. He had good rotation on it. However, it did not go quite to that top tip.
One more. I'm not going to be that guy that is on Facebook and making a fool of himself. Right. What happened?
Let's give him one more shot. Here we go, round 2.
You can't be good at everything, all right? You can't be good at everything. But here's the deal. There's a lot of people that are really good at this, and let's talk about this because this caught my attention. I'm seeing, what's this?
This is our train horn. This is when we get a little excited.
So, if somebody got a bullseye, maybe you're going to hear a few of those?
Right. Occasionally you'll hear this. Now, if you hit the blue dot, let me show you this thing right over here. Check this out. If you hit a blue dot, we ring this bell, and everybody in the house goes, hey!
So you be part of the family, make some noise. Here, I want one more. Let me try it. Can you narrate one more time
Absolutely.
for me?
Let me set you up this time. Let me help you out. So when you did your first one, you had it kind of put back like how I had it, and I want you to do that again. I want you to hold it how I had it, and I want you to just grip it a little tighter and really let that grip go all the way through, okay? Like this? Yep. Go for it. There you go. A little bit on the high side, but he stuck it with extreme intensity. That had some authority on it.
It had some authority, and I think I'm thinking too much, because the first time I got pretty damn close to the bullseye there. I think I'm thinking a little too much. But here's the deal. You've been doing this for a long time, and what's really great, if you've never done this before, as I said, I've been to something like this before, and what caught my attention the very first time is I'm walking around with an axe, a very sharp, pointy object, and they said, here you go, here's an axe, have fun. And I was like, oh, that was very brave and trusting of them, but you guys are really making sure that you're creating a safe environment, and you want to make sure that people have their technique down, that they're being safe, and answering any questions that people have.
Right. So we want to make sure that at the very beginning you're being safe, because in my opinion, without being safe, you can't really have fun. But our next priority right after safety is fun. Now, my thing is this, is you can be the best person in the world and still be safe, but if you're not having a good time, who cares how good you are? So I prioritize fun over skill, but if you're here to learn, we will absolutely teach you how to be better. We'll teach you how to have a good time. And I like to also think that this kind of humbles some people who think that they're great at sports, just walking in off the street thinking that they can do it just because, they've been good at other sports. I think it's good for everybody in different ways.
Awesome. And so people are watching this right now. They're like, okay, that seems like a lot of fun. I've never done that before. They want to try it out for the first time. What's that pricing typically look like? Can you get a membership, or is it just, pay as you stop by? What's it look like?
Sure. So there aren't quite memberships here, but it is $29.95 for an hour with an Axe Master, kind of how you just described. We're with you the whole time, that entire hour. The first 10 minutes is practice. We have games for about 20, 30 minutes. We do some surprises, and then at the final, we have a 10-minute final competition. So in all that, you get, lots of games, you get trained, you find whether you're good at hitting specific objects, things like that. Other than that, we do have different kinds of pricing for corporate parties. You'll want to call us in for that because it's very specific down to the person. But we also offer what's called our party room. That is an hour and a half with a private Axe Master specifically for your 2 booked lanes, and that's up to 10 people for $329.99. That's, of course, without taxes, but those things being said, about $30 per hour will get you in here and get you trained.
And what's even cooler is there's a special deal that you guys always have running, a friend discount. How's that typically work?
Right, so our friend discount, you apply it to a single person in your party. That takes off $5, and the promo code is FIREND.
There you go. We can spell, we can throw axes. I'm going to give it one more shot before we wrap things up. Can you just go ahead and coach me through this one more time?
Sure. So this axe is a little bit different. It's shorter, and because of that, he's going to want to be a little closer. The longer the handle, typically, the more it takes to rotate. You want to have it in the air a little bit longer. So I do want to ask him before he throws, because I've never seen him throw this axe except for over there, and I didn't get a good eye on him. So I'm going to ask him, did you have your thumb up on that very first shot you did?
I kind of just winged it. Honestly.
Well, based on the fact that you did that naturally, I'm going to assume that you probably did it naturally over there too, and I want you to throw that exact same way with that thumb up. Make sure you have a tight grip. Okay. Go for it. There we go. So just like we thought, it was very natural for him, and when he stuck it the first time, it was almost a guaranteed stick the second time because, like he said, don't overthink it, go in there. We do what's natural usually, and if we have to change it, that's when we start doing stuff differently.
And that is when the Axe Master is going to make his way in there to make sure that you're doing everything correctly. A great place to hang out, bring the whole family, your friends. Wild Axe Throwing, located right here in Beavercreek. And again, just to reiterate, this is also attached to Level Up Pinball. So you can see that there's tons to do here, from the games, the wild axe throwing, and of course there's a bar as well, so you can have some drinks, have a good time, and of course the folks here are going to make sure that you're taken care of and being safe in the process. We'll see you on the next pit stop. I'm going to throw some more axes.